Let's talk about me dyeing things. Okay, that's been dyed. You can see my huge finger on there now. Huge because it's close up. They've been dyed. And my fingers have been dyed. Every time I run my fingers through my hair or scratch my hair, you can see little bits of blue in there. So sorry about that, guys. I try and get rid of it. It doesn't work. Anyway, this is not what I want to talk about. So there's been a bit of a dyeing frenzy going on in this household between my husband and myself. My husband has been good with that. I can't show you everything I've dyed. I'm pretty good at mixing them up. Oh, hang on. Sorry, guys. Anyway, these shoes, getting back to these shoes, they don't look as bad as they do on here. They actually look pinker, but they are a little bit patchy. They've been dyed 3 times by my husband or myself. I do it easily. He does it easily. There's an easy way of doing it. I've become a bit of... I know how to perfect things now. That sounds really big-headed, but I know how to dye things, make them look as good as I possibly can. This skirt has been dyed, although it's a similar colour to the way it was. It's hard to show you on here, guys, because my phone bleaches things out, perfects things, or it makes things look a different tone completely. Let me just pause it and show you my shoes. Like I said, there are loads of shoes and loads of clothes. I wish I could show you all of them. Now, some of these have been dyed from like a year or more ago. I think they have. They were dyed about 2 or 3 months ago. They were actually more between those two colours. They're like an orangey red, probably slightly on the side of orangey coral. Orangey coral, not a red. They were supposed to be a blood red. They were dyed by my husband or myself twice. What I do is I soak the shoes, first of all, so it bleeds into them and it sort of isn't too strong and too neat because I use granules and they get rubbed on the... If I want to tint it slightly... I don't get the granules and soak the shoes and I don't rub it all over. I'll get my husband to do that. I'll just soak them in the water but make sure the granules have disappeared in red hot water. I've got my dyeing gloves on usually, but yeah, they were not the right colour. They were more of an orangey coral. They're not now. They've been dyed. These ones here were just cheap, really cheapo sort of... God, I sound like I can tell from Yorkshire. Really cheap thingy ones, if I can get the words out. Not Shein ones, eBay ones from many years ago, but they've only been worn once or twice. In fact, I've had them for nearly a decade, but they look great. I look after my shoes. These are firm cotton ones I've had for about 18 years, maybe even 20 years. I had a few of them actually. One pair has disappeared, another pair is ruined. I'm very upset about them because they're hard to get hold of, especially in the condition I've kept my shoes in. And I have a pair that's similar to this in black with the nude heel. You may have seen them, guys, and it's got the black buckle. I know I'm only showing the backs of them, but this was more of an orangey colour, sort of between that and that, again, like a corally colour. And they've been dyed. So, you know, it's just the boots, guys. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I've dyed other shoes as well, and boots. I've dyed clothes or got my husband to dye and say I've done it, my husband's done it, we've done it together, whatever. He's done it, but a bit of a dyeing frenzy for things, and if he wanted to dye something he could too. He's not usually into it though, but it's these shoes. Clothes tell a story, guys, and I'm trying to get... It's like a top I've got that isn't a set with this. I didn't get the matching top because I saw one I preferred in Shein. This is from Pretty Little Thing, this skirt. And I've been getting my husband to help me to try and match them to the same colour. Now, you know what it's like if you buy something separately and try and get it to match. Even if it's close in colour, it's going to be almost impossible. But I'm determined, so I'm going to get my husband to help me with that. Can't keep going with it, but there we go. Even if there's only like half a shade to a shade of difference, I don't think it'd be noticeable. The tops look identical to each other in the hem and material. The only thing that is in the style, the only thing that's different is just the colour is slightly off. One is slightly lighter and redder, like a blood red, whereas this looks a brown on here. It did at first look a brown too, but it's been lightened. It doesn't lose its colour much, but washed in red hot boiling water, it will lose a slight amount of colour. So I'm going to get my husband to do that again and dye it a red colour. And then the other one I've been trying to dye black, and it's the colour doesn't take on certain... Like it hasn't with the shoes, it doesn't take on certain fabrics, usually synthetic ones. Cotton dyes instantly because it's like a porous, natural fabric. It's a rough fabric. This sort of thing isn't. So anyway, these will have to be got over. They do look better than this. They do look slightly more darker and more pink than this. They're a strange colour, but they were a very dark cream to sort of a light beige, a very obvious light beige. I knew that would sort of shine through underneath as a base, but they have had pink. When the normal pink colour, the pale pink that I got my husband to dye them with didn't work. They've been dyed 3 times by my husband and myself. Then red was used because it was a red with a touch of pink in, like a cherry red with a touch of pink. So I thought, well, if it's not taking the colour very well, then maybe it will look a sort of lighter pink, if you get the idea from using the red. But obviously that's where I didn't rub the granules on, because like I said, I want it to be tinted. So yeah, I just sort of made sure that I used the water, and it was quite strong but not too strong. So there's a method to my madness everywhere. Anyway, I'm going to go, guys. But yeah, this has been for the past, I will say, I said weeks, but almost 2 months worth of dyeing. And oh dear, so I'm going to get my husband to help me with that. Whew, always the alterations. So yeah, ignore the cable, that's from the heat. You know, I've got all sorts in my bedroom. Anyway, bye guys.